What's up, guys? It's the girl from the AK Mansa Pods, back again with my boy Daniel with the Kaguya Love is War series.
Yo, what's going on? Daniel here, episode 10, Love is War season 2, basically towards the final quarter of the season. As Rogel said, great episode, fire episode, and as usual, we're gonna discuss our thoughts, talk about the moments, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and yeah. So without further ado, as always, let's get into it. All right. So we started this week with Kei Shirogane Can't Speak, and it was a different episode. It was we're focusing on the Shirogane sides of things, and we learn a bit more about his family and their dynamic and kind of like the environment he was raised up in. So what did you think, Rajal?
Well, it's interesting to see what made Shirogane, and like you said, the environment he was raised up in. And we have to shout out Kei, his sister, because every time we get a appearance from her, you know, it's gonna be an interesting, maybe problematic episode where where people are trying to express themselves but can't express themselves the way they should. And just like the beginning interaction with them two, like that brother and sister relationship,
I love that.
She knows there's something is wrong. Like do you know when you see your sister's side and you know something's wrong, but you don't want to ask, but you also want to know what's happening, but you don't want to do too much. You kind of talk around the subject. So like she did, she was like, let me pick up this flower and let's insult, you know, because every healthy brother and sister relationship has that insulting, verbally abusive side to it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to say a couple mean words, you know, just to humble your your brother or sister. And she does it. She's like, is this what you're doing with your life, basically? Out here picking at daisies and crying over gal. Are you patting up? She gave him that look.
Hey man, she was like, bro, you need to fix up my brother. Like, is this my brother? My student council? Like, why is he moving all sullen over here? I found that funny how she's curious, but she doesn't wanna be too affectionate because of like how he is as a brother. I find it funny how he's like a doting brother. Like he's like, oh yeah, you need to make sure you eat your red peppers and you need to make sure you say thank you and all those things. Because I'm not gonna lie though, if I were in her position, I'd probably be acting the same way because he's been a bit overbearing and annoying. I'm like, bro, relax on me, man. Let me live. I can't breathe with the way you're talking.
Bro, even at the dinner table, man's just eating her food, and man has words of advice he wants to give her, and he's like, come on,
just relax.
Where's my peace? This is supposed to be my sanctuary. Your home is supposed to be your sanctuary, your peace, where you recharge and refresh. He's made the whole environment a stress situation for her. She's out here like, rah. And the dad is not even helpful. The dad is out here also.
The dad is a troll, bro. Man said, honeys, I'm home.
Hey, the dad is every African dad. Like, that,
yo.
That was legit.
That man has African tangibles. Like, man's definitely African. I don't know where he comes from, but
we got them genetics, yeah, the African
100%.
tendencies.
100%.
I hear that.
All his mannerisms and how he interacts with them. Doing the most for no reason and letting things just slide. That's actually two jokes.
What did you think about the kind of little background you got with Shirogane's family? Like how the apartment's like 50,000 yen a month or whatever, how the mum ran out on them, and how the dad is like, he's kind of not in a stable situation job-wise. What do you think? Like, do you think that speaks to more how Shirogane is today and like how that's kind of affected him as a character? Did that change what you think of him?
I think it changed how, like, it made me surprised at how he turned out, because you think that individual that's been through a situation like that and and been around an environment like that wouldn't be so proactive, or in terms of how they behave. In essence, some people really will feel bad for themselves, and in turn wouldn't go out and or be as they wouldn't put themselves forward as much and be more enclosed. And he's not like that. Man went for the presidency at school and got it. He's one of the best performers at school. And with what the environment is at home and how chaotic it is, you wouldn't think that would have been the case.
Yeah, I hear you. It's kind of like him, the person we see at school, you wouldn't expect him to be from that home environment. But also you could also expect it, because maybe because he's from that environment, he knows how hard he needs to work so he can get out of that environment, if that makes sense. Like that background kind of shaped him into this drive, because we see like man's got bare part-time jobs, so like he's on this working thing, he wants them references, and he got himself into the school, so he knows like obviously to do better when I'm older, I need to have the connections, and if I go to this school, I'm going to get a lot of connections because of who the school attracts. So I think it kind of speaks to him as you kind of see it's like two sides, like, oh wow, it's a surprise he turned out so well, and also it might not also be surprising because of how it might have influenced him to take charge. I guess it's kind of like what kind of mindset you'd expect him to have. It's just like growth. It's like growth. I think they call it like a growth mindset, and I forgot what the other one is, but it's like non-growth. I don't know if you've heard. It's like a psychology thing, like how you approach problems, if you have like how to fix, or like if you like to dwell on it. But yeah. What else do I want to? I liked the bit at the end, just skipping ahead for a second, like when she has that little speech when she actually does help him, like with his problem, like saying how like some people might want to have conversations, but they're a bit too embarrassed to have it, and then she says to herself, oh yeah, who was I talking to? Because it can be applied to both her and Kaguya, because it kind of shows that even though she's in her rebellious teenager phase, she still has the same love. It's just like, I guess she doesn't really know how to show it.
No, I hear that. In regards to that, I also like how observant we see all of these characters tend to be. In that moment, she also understood that what she did say and the advice she did give also, in essence, applied to her relationship with her brother. You know what I mean? And that's a really impressive thing to immediately see after giving that advice, even at such a young age as well. If that was me, I would have been closing the door and saying, "Rah, Rajol, you're so good at giving advice." I wouldn't even realize it applies to me as well. You know what I mean? I'll be out here on my high horse.
Hey, you might give yourself more credit, man.
I'm like, I did that. Go to bed, and I'm like, the next day I'm like, rah, that really applied to me as well, though.
Yeah, I like Kei. This part made me really like. I'm confident. Yeah, she's definitely one of the characters I want to see more from, because she's like Shirogane, but she's also different enough to. Okay, let me put it this way: the Kei we see in different scenarios, I like all of them. So, like the Kei we see when she's with Kaguya, when she's with Chika's sister, and then kind of like juxtaposed with the Kei we see with her brother, because it's like the different faces you see, or like you put on with the different people you interact with. Like I like seeing all of those different sides to her. So I really like her character. I think Kei's cool, and also the dad, he's a joker.
Bro, like I said, African dad, because like every time any African, like if you have an African dad, you know this, every time you ask for advice, they will somehow turn the conversation towards their life and their life experience. Man said, my wife has been avoiding me for 7 years. Man said, why is that information we need?
That's pain.
It's real pain. But man still has hope in his heart. He's like, yeah, but this marriage, this commitment, for better or for worse, man's committed. And they're looking at him like, this donut, just get a divorce, man.
No, he does, because that's different kind of bondage right there. I want to know more about that story. I hope in the manga or they expand on that, because they can't just leave it on his mum dipped out. That's the end of the story. I want to know. I want to know more. I want to know more.
I'll be vexed. I also need to see the dad get his revenge. That's what I need to see. I need to see him do a madness on that younger lover his wife got. I don't know what. I'm not gonna give him any advice of what he should do, but he should definitely do something. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I might have to agree with you there as well. I feel like he has to be a good dude for Shirogane to have turned out the way he did, and Kei. Because if those two siblings are similar, and if the mum wasn't in their life, I mean, who would they have learned most of their moral ethics from? It has to be the dad.
It's
so
true.
Even though he's been putting on jokes, you know, like, man must have the wise parables, the facts, the wisdom.
Dad of the year. We might have to give it to him.
Yeah, let me think. Dad of 2020. I don't think. Actually, no, because Kakashi got off. So sorry, man.
Oh, true. He gets second place then. He gets second place,
but no one's touching Goto right now.
That's true.
But any final comments you wanna say for that part?
Yes, we need more of Kei, man. We actually need more of her character in this series as a whole, man. She needs a bigger role, because these one-offs, like, I enjoy them, but when I see like the greatness and when I see what she brings and the interactions with everybody, I need to see more.
Big facts. I have to agree. I want to see more Kei. I'm not sure, because more Kei might mean more Chika's little sister, and she kind of scares me, not gonna lie. That's neither here nor there.
Politician's daughter.
Yes, that's all we need to say. Next part. Miyuki Shirogane wants to dance. And before I start, I want to say that Soren song was hitting.
Soren.
Hey.
Banger.
It was low key. Might have to add that to the playlist, because I like that song. It's a good song.
Gave me vibes. I don't know why. It's so energetic.
Yes, like, that's it.
It starts you start feeling like you need to do something. Like, I need to complete something.
Bro, I'm doing the movements, you know, the pulling the net. I'm trying to get that fish in.
Don't kill me, man. I'm doing it too, but I'm passionate about this. That's so lit. Oh my days. All I know is that my guy has no talent, Miyuki.
He has talent, but just not in the right places, it seems.
Not in the arts.
No, not the arts.
You can say for sure, not in the arts.
No. He stinks.
It's appalling. It's actually appalling. And I feel so sorry for Chika, because like she needs, you know what Chika, like, bro, but then this time I can't even help her out, because she put herself in this situation. It was uncalled for. She didn't have to ask, oh, let me see if, like, you seem confident about this. Let me just see the dance. She didn't have to ask that. Like, I would have left it. I would have left it alone. I'm like, oh, I'm happy you're confident. We move.
Oh, but she knows his track record. That's why she had to ask. He sucked up most things, and then he said, "Oh yeah, I'm confident in this one." And yeah, he I don't know. That was a monstrosity on the screen. I'm not gonna lie. Turned into some demonic exorcism at the end. I don't know what kind of dancing.
Bam! But you see how the sweat jumped off his body. The sweat was embarrassed, so he tried to run away from him. That's what the sweat did. Imagine his own body fluid.
Bro,
never.
That was too funny. Like that start of the segment was too funny. Just the deadness in Chika's eyes. She was like, "Wow, why must I suffer this way?" She was suffering. The way she was just beating the drum, and then he was so confident. He was like, "Yeah, I just killed that. I killed that."
With energy.
And she's like, "No, what are you talking about? That sucks.
You're trash. You're trash. Stop it.
Was like,
you're embarrassment."
Nah, she was like, "I'm tired. I don't get paid for these extra hours you're putting me through."
You could tell she regretted her decision making. She was like, "You know what? This one's."
Of course she did. Of course she would, because
This one's on me.
Teaching this guy, and then she tried to do some extracurricular thing when she was like, oh yeah, you need to put your own emotion into it. And he was like, nah, man, the movements are cool. But I like that because it kind of shows, like we said before, the arts are her thing. So obviously, like if you're gonna do it, you need to do it properly. So if managers doing the movements and not really putting his, I guess, soul into it, like she was saying, like it's kind of more insulting to her because she knows, I guess, the effort that goes into these dances, these concerts and all them things. So she wants him to do it properly, especially if she's the one teaching it. And that's where like her and Kaguya kind of conflict, you know. But I like that.
It's true. She's more of that poetic, passionate, you know, she understands the history of the song and the music, and she's like, this has to invoke some sort of emotion in the individual. Like, you can't be just dilly-dallying and just performing it as it's supposed to be, just doing the moves. Nah, you have to put passion in it. And then we see later on that Kaguya is like the complete opposite. She's like, just do the moves. Just to have some standardized moves that invokes the same sort of feeling in everybody, anywhere when they watch it, which really, like you said, shows their conflicting perspective, like which sides of the road they stand.
Not gonna lie though, Kaguya was doing it with ulterior motives. So for this round, I'm gonna side with Chika because she was like, oh yeah, I just want to touch man, so I don't really care about the dance. But yeah, let me put a young hand on the chest, touch the little waist a bit, you know, move it a bit down. Yeah, I respect the grind, but what Chika was saying was right, because the message she was saying about expressing yourself, that's true. That's true. You can't just be copying things, monotone, no emotion. It's a bigger picture. So I guess
add your flavor to it.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. Put your own seasoning on the thing. Can't just be showing for me that plain chicken. I need at least salt and pepper, my guy. Come on, please. Yeah.
Season the thing, please.
But what did you think of his dance at the end? Because he was killing it. He was in his bag then. He was like, I understand how I'm being pulled, and now I'm the net. So now I died. He was going crazy with the arms.
He was, bro, I've never seen his arm move so passionately. Man said, I understand, and went straight into dancing. I was like, yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Do you see the shock in their faces? Like, wow. Somehow,
like, yes, that's it.
Somehow he worked it out. Somehow in our conflict, man understood how to do this dance move. Bruh. All I know is from then we knew he was going to kill the sports festival.
Of course. That's my guy. You see, that's why he's the president. Even though he might struggle, when he gets it, he executes wonderfully. And
he does.
One last thing for me, Chika being jealous of Kaguya was too funny. She was vexed. Because it's funny because she was like, oh yeah, okay, fine, I'm not going to teach you. And then she sees Kaguya and she's like, raw. I know I said I'm not going to teach you, but you replaced me a bit too quickly, you know? Like, what? It was like an hour ago, no? And she just sat in the chair, she's like, yeah, you're teaching him, but I don't know if you're doing it right, you know, but I'm not going to say anything, even though she just said that.
Yeah, she was wild. Let me not talk too much. Let me just, no, I didn't say that. But if you did hear somebody say that, it might be right. So you might have to follow that. Yeah, she was actually the sass she was giving was actually jokes. I was just dying. I was like, yeah, she's different. And the head position she had her head in. She no direct eye contact, hella sideways glances, hella looking up at the sky, like to the side, like what's happening? It's like, we all know what you're doing, Chika. We all know what you're doing.
It's because it's her bag, innit? She knows the arts thing is her bag, so she knows, like, she's like, she likes Kage, which is like, yeah, you're not really touching me on this thing. I don't think you can teach it better than me, but I like to see you try. And then it didn't go too well.
At all. But I liked how because he worked out through their interaction, like the conflict, how to dance, it went no further. Like they didn't have to fight no more because they accomplished the goal, which I liked. There was no extra, but But okay, I know he's worked it out, but bro, we're still beefing though. You know what I mean? There was no that. It ended well. Let's go with that. He learned. Let's go with that.
Yes, sir. Okay, moving on to Kobachi Osaragi wants to crack down. Finally, some focus.
Oh wait. Let me just say this before we move on. The last bit, that Stevie Wonder shout out. I actually read this down. When Chico was on the piano with the glasses. That was wavy. That was wavy.
Cold. That was cold. Honorable shout out to that. Honorable shout out.
Vibes.
But yes, Kobachi Osaragi wants to crack down. A part where we kind of focus on the second member of the Miko Ino duo. Yeah, Kobachi, the glasses. She doesn't say much, but we kind of get to see an insight into her character. So I like this part because it's like the third party, you know. She's kind of like the audience because she's always there watching. So it's getting to see what she thinks was nice. And I like that she doesn't hate Ishigami, unlike Miko. So I feel like she knows like them two should kind of get along, but for some reason they don't. So even though I think she was saying that they're quite similar in their ideologies. So that was interesting too.
Yeah, she's definitely wise beyond her age. Like, she has such a understanding. She doesn't follow anyone's narrative or story, whatever's been told about an individual or about a situation. She's level-headed and just looks at it and tries to see the truth within it, you know what I mean? Which I really like about her. Like, for her age, she's different. She's actually different, because I wasn't doing that. I'd have been like, rah, is that what that individual did? Rah, is that what happened? Fair enough. That must have happened then.
Yeah, she's quite mature for her age. I like that.
Definitely.
What do you think about the first section we have, like, just with them doing their disciplinary committee duties, like Miko telling that guy off for doing his shoe wrong, and then Chico with her board game, and then Ishigami underneath the building played his game. That made me crease when he's like, oh yeah, let me save it first. He said, let me save the game first. It was hard to beat that guy. And she was like, nope, not having it.
She's rude, man. She's actually rude. All the characters that were showcased in this third part were like a good mix, because we had polar opposites. Especially with the disciplinary group committee. They legit are both of them together, that combination, they really don't let anything slide. Like, at all. Like, it will be the smallest thing and they'll be like, no, we have to knock that off now, because you know that shoe being out of place, it could lead you to becoming a gang member or something. Like, they see some mad correlation between the little bad behavior and the extreme bad behavior. So like, let's knock it off now before it gets even worse. But I do like their conviction and what they stand for. Like, they do it with the chest. They do it all chest. Like, they don't care what people think. They're like, this is the standard we decide to keep. And this is what we're gonna do.
Definitely. And what I liked about this part is it shows how obviously I feel like they've been hinting towards it the whole season, the relationship between Miko and Ishigami, how it's a bit, I guess, deeper than what you were led to believe, because like they have similar ideologies, and we see that Miko was walking around with like that insult on her back, and then Ishigami in middle school takes it off her back and she doesn't even know that. And then when Ishigami was suspended, she was the one who, even though she doesn't like him, she was saying, stopping him from going to high school is too much. She was like probably the only person who was vouching for him. So this shows
they've both been doing good stuff for each other. They've been working in each other's interest, even though
they don't know it themselves. And I liked,
which is wild.
Yeah, I liked what she said at the end, where like she visits Ishigami and he's doing the training for the festival. Like, he putting his all into it. It just shows how he's serious about this thing.
Like, when Ishigami wants to put in effort, he puts in effort. Like he's not half-hearted.
Yes.
And even just a shout out to Kobachi just for being like, I'm gonna go out of my way to go and say that even with all the rumors flying about, this guy is a serious guy. Like, don't listen to that. Like, this guy, he's taking what he does seriously. It's not a joke. It's not for pretend or nothing. He's proper doing that. And I love that the coach saying that we know that. Like, we see effort. Like, real recognize real. If we're seeing it, then you don't even have to come and tell us about it. Bro, every day.
I love that too, because it shows like they're not bad people. Like, it shows like they're cool with him. Like, and they respect. They don't judge him based on what other people are saying. They're just judging him on who he is as a person, and that's nice. Because he can tell man was working up a sweat,
bro. He was putting proper work. I was like, oh, like it was the performance day or something. Like he was doing the activity then and then. Man was training hard, full effort. I have to respect it. I hope he keeps involved in this the cheerleading group. I hope even after the festival and stuff, he still has that friendship group and we see him interact with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because it'll be good to have him with people outside of the student council, because obviously he's in first year and they're in second year. So once they graduate, he'd be on his own, innit? So if he has more friends from outside of that group, then it's more likely that he'll be cool when they graduate. So that'll be good.
Yeah, it's true. Definitely excited for that. You need to have a whole show just Ishigami by himself.
Yes, sir. And then what's it? You'll have Kei more, of course, because she'll probably be in the year below.
True. That's true. A little spin-off. Now watch that. That'll be litty, man. Kei becomes president. Ishigami just helps out.
She could do it. And then we have the little sister Chica.
Legacy. Legacy. They have to give Chica's little sister a lesser role because that's the Merchant of Chaos part 2.
And she's twisted. Very, very scary.
Very, 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 very scary.
Okay. Any final things you want to mention for that?
Just apart from the fact that seeing like our understanding of Ishigami is just great for us, because we actually realistically he's the individual we don't get to see a lot of background for at all. Like we get a lot of background for other individuals story wise and plot wise, but when it comes to Ishigami, it's like what we see is what we get. But again, a deeper delve into his character and his situation and even his past. Just in a slightly younger Ishigami it was funny to see that he hasn't changed too much.
Yes.
In terms of his personality.
Just grew his hair out.
That's all. That's actually all.
Yeah, I'll say one more thing.
Definitely good to see.
I liked, I think I said it before, like just seeing more from Kobachi, because normally when she's with Miko's the one doing the talking. So just seeing kind of her perspective on things was nice. It was a nice change. And I like her approach to things. It's that final line where she's like, oh yeah, it's our job to make sure students keep on the pure path or something like that. That was nice. I like the way she phrased that. But yes, to the final section, the start of the sports festival. Yeah, Miyuki, Shirogane's dad, wants to find out. Ha 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 ha. Hey. So
the problem.
Yes, that's what we should call him, the problem. Because bro, yeah, man definitely, what's it? He crossed up Kaguya. She had broke her ankles, bruv. Cause
bruh, she was like, what? You're spitting bars, but I can't accept your bars that you're spitting to me. Nah, let me come back with a strong argument against everything you said. And he was sitting there, the guy with all the knowledge, understanding the whole situation and letting Kaguya just have the little slither of insight into like what she did. Like Kaguya was in the paddling pool in terms of knowledge and understanding what was happening, and he was the ocean. Man knew everything. He was just mocking the whole situation.
He's just sitting there like, yeah, you're saying stuff I already know, but like, I mean, go off, Queen.
He's actually rude for that. It's actually so unnecessary.
I think he was just trying to judge her, like, because he already knew, he recognized her voice from the phone call back in season 1. So he's like, let me see what this girl's really about. Wow, like, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. What did you think about what we see Shirogane?
That situation or that?
We see Shirogane. You know, he's doing his dance in there. The
vibes in.
Yes.
He mastered it.
He was putting in work.
He's teaching it now. That's how good he is now.
And then he won the 100 meters too. So obviously, man's got the burners. He's on jets.
He has talent. He does have talent. It can't not be denied. I'm surprised he's not as sought after as a partnership for an individual at that school, because
everyone thinks he's going out with Kaguya, isn't it?
But I feel like somebody needs to be like, there needs to be that one cheeky character who comes in and just says, "Hey, you guys, that problem character who comes in and like, oh, you guys are not dating, are you? Cool. I'm gonna go after you." That says it in front of all of them. With energy. That would be so interesting.
You never know, it might happen, hopefully in the future.
Hopefully.
Speed up the progress.
I love how lowly he thinks of his dad though. Man, he actually doesn't. His dad is such a good dad, but he thinks the worst. When man was taking the pictures and he saw one of the images was of
It was
Chica.
mad though. I was like, what? Why are you taking pictures of girls? And he's like, oh no. I asked him to do that, Chica's dad. I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine.
But you have to be careful with that. Like, the police are not going to ask too many questions. They're going to see the picture, arrest you, and now you're trying to do up explanation about why those photos are on you. Like, those are the moments when you have to humbly decline. You're like, if it's not my door, I need to decline. Like, I'll lend you the camera and I'll use my smartphone.
You see, I would agree with you, but you see, you forgot whose father it is. The politician's daughter. See, the politician can get him out of any jam.
You're right.
Man's got the connections, the lawyers, so he probably was like, oh yeah, it's cool. No one can get onto me because I got this guy backing me.
No, you're right still. Man felt secured and safe.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Chica's dad. Man looks a lot more serious than I would have thought, even though he is a politician. So I guess he fits the, archetype, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see the mom.
I don't know why I was thinking he had pink hair.
I think the mom has pink hair, that's why.
Oh, I see. Now, it would have been funny if he had pink hair. Like, you just see a guy in a business suit looking all smart with pink hair.
Oh, he dyed
this. Yeah, that's Chica's dad. True.
You never know. But, well, okay, let's go on to the Kaguya stuff then. What do you think? She was like, she's the only one on Team White, but she wants to root for the president. I thought that was quite cute. I like that.
Same. She has to go with it. She has to go with her heart. Like, she's, in some aspects, she's very political and observant of where she stands, and she wants to, do on paper what is seen to be the right thing. So it's like, if this is the team that I'm rooting for, I have to root for them. I can't just be like, oh, but I love Miyuki, so let me support Miyuki. You know what I mean?
She went out of her way. She went all the way outside just so she was like, oh yeah, no one can see me now. I can cheer with my heart.
Do you know how embarrassing that is? Man said, man had to go all the way, far away, just so she could be herself freely. And
feels bad.
Bro, just tell her just to be yourself. Be an independent queen, Kaguya. This is the message from Rajel to you. You're a bad bee. Queen. Do what you want. That's it.
To them. Let them know.
But as soon as we knew that Miyuki didn't want her to meet the dad, I knew instantly that's what's gonna happen. Like it was fated. He jinxed it, bro. He should know. He should know that if you say it like that, bro, I don't want them to meet. It's gonna happen. If he just left it, it would have been fine.
But it was not fine, and the dad did find her, and he spun her.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between how the ability to play the game. Like Kaguya thinks he's on job with it, but my man had the wealth of experience. Man's dealt with 7 years of his wife avoiding him, and has grown 2 great kids. So man's like, okay, let me just play with her a bit. Let me mess around with her head. Start. the first thing he said about Miyuki was actually jokes when he was like undermining him and being like, basically this guy he's not as great as it would look on the outside. And obviously that sounds wild if you just hear a random person, and obviously you care about this individual a lot, a random person bad mouthing them for no reason. Like, what? Mm-hmm. What's up? And obviously Kaguya's not having that.
Yeah, she I mean, we knew, like, what's in episode 4 when the French girl was trying to say a madness to Miyuki and she did not have it. Like, when it comes to him being slandered, like, you can't do it in front of her or she's gonna go crazy. So, and she rides out for her man.
No, she does fully. She would definitely in the future catch a case for him, especially if they're together like properly, like officially. Because one girl would somebody would do too much, and she'd be like, "Look, I'm just gonna catch a body," and then murder case. But Chica will get off. Chica and her dad will get off. She
might be able to get herself off, because that Shimomiya power. Man got the best surgeon doctor in the world just because she was having heart tremors. So who knows?
Hey, their power is scary.
But any more thoughts for this part?
It was just great to see everything that unfolded throughout this episode come to a good conclusion. Or I wouldn't even say it was fully concluded, but it was a sort of conclusion regarding obviously Miyuki learning how to dance and the whole Ishigami thing and how he then performed well and played his part, and just everybody enjoying themselves, isn't it? And shelling out. Like, even when Ishigami thanked the guy who was doing the 3-legged race with him and said, like, it was like, had the interaction like, thanks for doing this with me or something like that.
Yeah, I have to agree. That was something I thought to mention about Ishigami. I think they were setting up for the next episode because we see the girl, an unknown girl, and she's looking up at the sky, and I think she's at the school. So, and then we have Ishigami. He's happy, so there'll probably be like a confrontation, and we'll get more insight next week for his backstory. So I liked that little foreshadowing, hinting, whatever you want to call it, and like him winning the race with the cheerleader guy. That was nice as well.
Definitely
helps him feel more comfortable because, like, the way the guy is, I feel like they can actually be friends. He's not just trying to put it on, if that makes sense. But yeah,
it's not act.
Solid part. Kaguya getting flustered was funny. Miyuki was suffering after finding out, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And one last thing, because I forgot to mention it from the first part, I like that we had the misunderstanding cleared up between Kaguya and Shirogane, because she goes to his classroom and then she's just like, "Oh yeah, do you want to walk to the student council together?"
Oh yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
It was. It's like you said, with those kind of moments is where we see how much they've grown as characters. Because like last season, or even early on in season 2, that interaction is not happening.
Yes, and she used her technique to help keep herself calm, so she'd ask him, even though she was still blushing. But yeah, that was a nice interaction. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kaguya.
Queen Kaguya. wear your crown, man.
But yes, Rajel, you know what I'm gonna ask you. Final thoughts on the episode.
This for me was a 10 out of 10 episode. It was really an all-rounder in terms of like the experience we got, and just shelling out some more backstories on individuals such as Ishigami, and even the Miyuki and his home situation, and the understanding what kind of environment he was raised in and all of that. So like in terms of character development, comedy, and just the way it was structured, and obviously when you have the classic of that dance, so of course it's a 10 episode, fam. Yeah, I loved it, man.
Yeah, man, I echo you as always. That Soren song, need that on the playlist immediately. And always seeing Kei, and learning more about Shirogane's family, that was good, because that was a lot of stuff we didn't know, and how it kind of helps me when I'm thinking about his character. And also the Ishigami stuff with Kobachi, seeing like the situation or environment he was in middle school, kind of makes me happy to see where he is now with the friends he's made. And also the sports festival kind of makes me happy to see how confident Kaguya can be, because how the president betrayed her expectations of people always having a secret ulterior motive behind their good actions. So I like how the president kind of proved her wrong, and then as she went along, she met more people who kept proving her wrong. So she kind of learned to be more open and kind. Well, not kind, but like more trusting, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
You can definitely say that Miyuki was the one to crack away at that ice cream vibes. He fully took apart, like, and made the woman we see today, the queen we see today, Kaguya. So this is another reason why they need to be together. This is another reason why they need to stop with their nonsense and, you know, join hands, join in partnership.
Yes, it seems we've got a while to go, but I'll enjoy the ride until we get here. But yes, this was the AKRewatch episode 10 of Love of War Season 2, Kaguya, you know what it is. And this was Daniel and Rajel, as always, bring you the discussion.
As always.
Like I said, like the video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts below if you have anything we didn't mention. And I'll catch you in the next one and leave you with Rajel's final comments.
Thanks for listening, guys. It's always a pleasure. Catch you guys in a bit. Peace.
Bye.